We have been talking for quite some time. We have done 11 sittings on various aspects of ethics. We talked about ethics and morality in the East and the West. We talked about the primary Islamic ethical values. We talked about the overall concept of society, social values, economic values, political values, and so on and so forth. The purpose was to let you think very clearly whether we are dealing with education or dealing with the technical aspects. Wherever you are, ethics is the core of every action. And today we are discussing what is work ethics, which can be commonly applied in all those situations. So ethics in Islamic context means principled human action, which means our actions should be based on some principles, usul. These usul or principles are given by the Quran and Sunnah, and therefore whether we have work ethics or any other areas, in clinical psychology, if you are dealing with your patient, how to deal with the patient, what's the ethics of dealing with patient, everything is based on Islamic principles, or should be based at least, and how one is motivated and guided by divine guidance. What is the divine guidance for me in the lab? How divine guidance helps me in my classroom? How it helps me in my assessment process? If I have given an assignment, and in assignment students copy from some published works, at the end of their assignment they just copy a list of references without knowing that reference means you must provide the name of author, title of the book, year of publication, who is the publisher, page. So we know that you have consulted that. Instead of that, if you provide a 3-page or 4-page long list of references alphabetically arranged, including some untranslated Arabic references which I doubt very much the writer ever touched or saw, what does that mean? That means that assignment has been just copied from somewhere and not your own product. Is that ethical? Research ethics. Therefore, work ethic is not confined to one single area, whether it's production of a research paper, assignment, production of a unit for electrical equipment, or anything else. So what we were saying was that how the divine guidance, hidayah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then secondly the moral behavior of the Prophet, peace be upon him. How the Prophet behaved, how did he handle situations, what was his immediate responses on situations he did not like or he liked, how he responded. Now every single aspect of his life becomes a role model for our work ethics, because he worked and lived in a human society. Being totally human, he was subject to all those pressures which we are in our society. Therefore, we must find out how he responded to those pressures, those challenges, those risks, and only then we can develop a work ethics of our own. It will not be a work ethic given by Mr. Robinson, Mr. Rock, Mr. Fox, or anyone, but this will be a ethics that is based and drawn from the two non-variable sources which never vary, never change, which are available for all times to come, which have universal applicability, the Quran and Sunnah. So human actions are not supposed to be meaningless. The Quran says you should not have something abas, something useless, fruitless, without any object, but based on good or maruf, virtue or bir, permissible or halal, and therefore essentially ethical. On the contrary, such actions will fall in the category of negative and bad, which are carrying munkar or which are sinful, full of sayyi'at, or things which are undesirable, makruh, or things which are haram. Apparently, Muslim mind for last one whole century has confined these terms to discourse of fiqh. So they think we should find out from a faqih, if you are walking in a street and some filth falls on your dress, then how much portion of filth will make my whole dress unpure or not suitable for making prayer. Such questions are linked with halal and haram and makruh. But you never think, when in a classroom you are talking to a mixed gathering where you have boys and girls, and you intentionally make a joke which makes girls or boys ashamed. Is that ethical? We never think, when we are in a workplace with colleagues, what is the requirement of ethics in terms of workplace? Distance between individuals who are strangers, not the relations. The way of talking. What kind of perfumes are used? Workplace is not a beauty contest place where you compete in what kind of impressive perfume, branded perfume you want to use and get praise from people. Therefore, decency, morality, ethics, everything is linked together, and that is why what I said a while ago, that basic values of halal, haram, makruh, what is permissible, what is not permissible, these are the basis of human behavior. These are not meant for a faqih, a mufti sahib to come and give a lecture on what is halal and haram. It is not a matter of just food, for which we have understood that if a food item is stamped halal, then we eat it. So you go in a store and try to find out which cookies or biscuits, which bread, which jam, or which kind of meat is halal. You want to look for a stamp on that. That's extremely narrow vision of the Islamic ethical paradigm. Islamic ethics covers all aspects of human life, because Prophet peace be upon him did not come as a mufti for telling what meat, not a mufti coming for telling us what kind of business alone. If you do a business of trading in clothing, is it halal, or is it halal to do a business of farming? He did not come for that. He came to give the general principles which apply to everything, including how do I farm, how do I stitch my dress, how do I stitch my ideas, how do I present them. Every single, therefore, when we talk about work ethics, then we shall have to go and find out from the Quran and Sunnah what are those principles, usul, and some of those manifestations of principles, demonstration of principles in the lifetime of the Prophet peace be upon him. He was there to demonstrate those principles, so one can see their workability. Every single thing said in the Quran has been applied and given to us in an exemplary form. This is how the Quran wants you to behave, not only in prayer, but how to behave in the market, how to behave in a war, in a battle, in battlefield, how to behave in home, how to behave when you want to relax yourself. In all those situations, if you want to find an answer of work ethics, then we shall have to do a microscopic understanding of the seerah, not for just praising him, not just illuminations, not just some beautiful poetic expressions, and then assuming that we have followed the footsteps of the Prophet, peace be upon him. No, he is not there just for praise and not for just glorification, but for copying, following, imitating what he did as a human being for all of us. So the point here is that general ethical directions are provided by the Quran and Sunnah, and those have to be discovered. No one can just give you a comprehensive list. I may write a research paper and cover some aspects of that, but it is every Muslim who thinks that he or she is a professional. The profession is incomplete if you have not tried to find out from the Quran and prophetic example what is role model for you as a professional to do your work in your lab, in your classroom, in your conference, in your executive office, wherever you are.